Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Colvin. A little bit about myself. I am married with three sons, ages 7, 9, and 11. As of this recording, 6 months ago, I sold my house, I quit my job, and I moved out to the country to start a homestead with my family. Since then, we have begun restoration on an 1860s era farmhouse and acquired over 20 animals, including chickens, ducks, a couple of dogs, and a cat. I am an 8-year Coast Guard veteran turned software developer. I also have a bachelor's in sports and health sciences, which, as you may know, physical fitness is a big part of being in the military. So it seemed like a good fit at the time. But when I got out, the career options for tactical boat operators and physical trainers just weren't what I had in mind. After getting out of the Coast Guard, I got into IT, where I have been for the last 4 years. And that is where I discovered my love of programming. I used to be very physically active and think I could eat whatever I wanted as long as I stayed in the gym, and that was true for a very long time. However, I learned the hard way that diet and hydration are just as important as physical activity when it comes to staying healthy. I've tried apps out there for tracking your diet. I've tried the apps that help you track your water intake, and there are also plenty of exercise apps out there, but I wanted an app that just does it all. So for my capstone, I decided to create my own health and fitness app. Let me just share my screen here. MakroTrak is a web app to track diet, hydration, and exercise that I created during a 2-week sprint for my final project at devCodeCamp. Did I mention it will find recipes as well? That's pretty big in my opinion. It will also automatically calculate nutrition information on the servings of those recipes for easy tracking. Yeah, that sounds like a mouthful, but simply put, find a recipe, click a button, done. Easy as that. It's in your food log for the day. I don't know if you've ever used a diet app before, but if you have, you might know that when it comes to tracking recipes, you're going to want to get out a pen, a paper, and a calculator, and hopefully you won't be digging through the trash to find those nutrition facts labels. So I'm pretty excited to have automated that away. MakroTrak uses Django REST framework for the backend. It uses simple JWT for authentication and MySQL connector for Python to connect to a MySQL database. On the front end, it's React with Bootstrap for styling. MakroTrak uses 3 third-party APIs. The USDA API for individual food lookups. So say you're looking up an apple or a piece of chicken, you can look that up here on the USDA API. The Edamame API for searching up recipes, and the React Google Charts for visual displays and charts. Let's see what it can do. You'll start at the landing page where you can either log in if you're a user, but if you're not, you can go ahead and click the register link to register, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Just put in a username, first name, last name, and your email and a password, and you'll click the register button down here. I've already got a good user myself in there that has lots of good data to look at once we log in, so I will go ahead and log in as myself. So when you log in, you come to the home page or dashboard, if you will. On the top left, we have the daily goals chart, which shows progress toward daily goals. In blue, we have our water tracking, which you can see it's at 40 ounces right now. So let's just say I drank a 8-ounce glass of water. I'm going to go ahead down here to the water entry form and enter 8, and then click add. And you can see the bar jumps up 8 ounces. The rest of them in red, we have calories, and then the last 3 are the 3 major macro categories: fats, carbs, and proteins. On the top right here, we have historical data. So in blue, we have water, so ounces per day. Then we have calories in red, calories out in yellow, which is your exercise calories burned. So think calories burned, calories out. They're not in your system anymore. And then in green, we have our weight tracking line. If we go down a little bit, you'll see our water entry form, which I've already showed you. You have a weight entry form, which you will enter your weight once a day. So we can go ahead and enter our weight now, and we'll click add. Now you won't see anything now, but once you log in tomorrow, it will show up on the historical data chart. Same thing for exercise. Let's just say we went on a run this morning. We can call it running, and we burned 200 calories. We'll go ahead and enter that in, click add. Again, it's not going to show anything now, but it will show up on your historical data the next day. And at the bottom here, we have today's foods. It's a little bit after breakfast for me. So as you can see, I've had eggs, bacon, toast, and a banana. It shows your fats, protein, and carbs for each food. And if you have any duplicate entries, you can hit the delete button. Finally, we have the add food page. You have 4 options to add your foods. First, we'll go over the individual food search option. This uses the USDA API. So let's just say I ate an apple. I like Red Delicious apples. So we'll search up Red Delicious apples. We'll go apple. And I bought the Hannaford apples. So I'm going to go ahead and click track here. And when I click track, it's going to go ahead and add those into my daily consumed food. So on the home page, it'll add a line to the chart to show that you've eaten it. And then also your bar graph for the daily goals chart. Next, we have the recipe search form. So what's a good recipe to search up? We will look up ravioli. I like ravioli. Let's go with arugula ravioli. That sounds good. So as you can see here, you have the total calories, fats, protein, carbs, and servings. And the servings is important on the recipe section because when you click the track button, it's going to go ahead and divide all these totals by 4. So on your today's food chart, each individual entry will be a serving of that recipe. So rather than having to get out the calculator and divide all this here, the app's going to do it for you. Here we have the jump to recipe link, so we can click on this and make sure that we are going to enjoy the recipe that we're going to cook. We go down to the recipe and it looks good. So I'm going to go back to the search page and track for arugula ravioli. I click track. So that'll go ahead and update it on my homepage and save that for the day. So next we have the search saved foods option where you can search all the foods you've already previously tracked. So let's just say it's tomorrow and you want to eat another portion of that arugula ravioli. We can go ahead and search up ravioli. And as you can see, I really like ravioli because I've already tracked the summer ravioli. So this time I'm going to go with arugula ravioli. Let's click track again. I'll show you what it looks like to have 2 servings of something for the day. But before we go back to the homepage, I want to show you the custom food entry form. So this is for any foods that you just can't find on the searches. If you just can't find what you're looking for, you can just enter the food in manually. So let's just say I want to have a hot dog for lunch. Enter the calories. Let's call it, no, we'll call it 200. Enter fats, probably 15, carbs 15, sugars probably like 2, fiber none, proteins probably 15, and the number of servings will be 1. We're gonna go ahead and click add. So it's going to save the food to your tracked foods, but it's also going to update all the information on the home page. So let's go back to the home page here. And as you can see, we've got Red Delicious apple, which we searched up and added. And then I have 2 servings of the arugula ravioli and a hot dog. And the numbers on our chart have gone up. And let's just add water one more time just for good measure since we ate all that food. And that's pretty much it. That's MakroTrak. It's simple, straightforward, does what you need it to do. For future iterations of the project, I was given some feedback about linking away from my app. So when you're on the search page and you click the jump to recipe link, it takes you away from the web page. I'm going to create another page that incorporates all the recipe data within my app, so I'm not linking away from my page. Those are my plans for now. I appreciate you watching my video. Thank you for your time. And if you're hiring, you know where to find me.